That's a little better. Thank you. Nick's fixing it. Okay, stay on the side. That's what it is. Okay, thank you, Miigwech, Fred. At this time, I'm going to invite Nick Tilson, our president and CEO of NDN Collective, just to share a few more words about the Caravan, our relatives' travels from Minneapolis today, and just this upcoming action and this fight for Leonard Peltier's freedom. Come on up, crew.
Anyone's just joining, we're here in Minneapolis. I guess the second stop of the Caravan just started this morning, if you were following along. Started the ceremony yesterday at Jumping Bull Ranch. Right now we're live. The bus got here maybe 15 minutes ago. There was a ceremony that happened, and now we are bringing you in. We're going to be listening to some speakers for a bit, and we're hoping to get a few interviews. My name is Leonard Peltier, Director of Tactical Media for the NDN Collective. Just excited to have you here, and let's listen.
Haumedakiape, Nick Tilson, Amachiape, Chantea Washte Nape Chuzapalo. It's good to see each and every one of you here, and thank you for welcoming us to your homelands and to your community. My name is Nick Tilson. I'm Oglala Lakota from Pine Ridge, and we're here. Many of us from Minneapolis. I think there's a handful of us that are Oglalas, huh? We're like that, but thank you for welcoming us here. You know, the first thing I would like to say is that we're just the next generation of young people that are taking on this struggle. But we understand that it's a continuum, that many that have come before us have made a lot of sacrifices to build the movement and the shoulders and the foundation that we stand on today. And many people will remember that many people that have fought for Leonard's freedom, many of those people have went on to the spirit world. I think in my family alone, I'm the third generation of people fighting for Leonard's freedom. And we know that we were walking along prayers. Just yesterday on the Jumping Bull land, we had a ceremony. We had a pipe ceremony to pray for Leonard, to pray for his health, and to pray for his liberation. And we're continuing on this battle because we want to finish it. We're continuing on this battle because we want to bring Leonard home back to the people where he belongs. And so we come here out of respect for our elders, out of respect for our community, out of respect for this movement that raised us. And we want to go all the way to Washington, D.C. to bring the message, that what happened to Leonard is wrong. That what happened to Leonard is a symbolism of what's happened to Indigenous people everywhere and continues to happen to our people today. And as we are here in this movement, we have to remember that Leonard has been separated from us. He's in that prison, separated from his family, from his people, from the movement that he helped sacrifice to build. And so we're continuing on that struggle. And we've asked the ancestors to be with us. We've asked all of the people across this country to be with us while we're fighting for Leonard's freedom. And I'll say that in my belief, and the ways that we were raised in Lakota ways. It's not about, I'll believe it when I see it. It's when we believe it, then we will see it. And we no longer question whether Leonard is coming home. It is no longer a matter of if he's coming home. Now it's a matter of when he's coming home. So we have to have that belief. We have to have that persistency. And I will say, as a young person that used to lick envelopes and walk around neighborhoods trying to get people to sign his petition, that we're closer right now today than we ever been. And it's on the horizon. Liberation for him is on the horizon. And so our prayers matter, our unity matters, and we're here because with all of you and all of your support, we're going to bring Leonard home. Hacha tuola.
Thank you, Nick. So we know folks are hungry, so we're going to do a couple things. I just want to say a couple logistics things quick. There are porta potties just on the other side of the park, so make sure you can take care of yourselves. There is water, there is tea. What we'll do is, just so we're not waiting too long to feed folks, is I know I have some volunteers to serve food. If those folks can make their way over, probably about 5 people to help us serve. And then we, of course, want to feed our elders. And then my ask is to also feed our caravan, our relatives from that were on the road for 8 hours today, to make sure they get some food too. And then at the same time, I'm going to invite Mary up. Can I invite Mary up to say a few words? While we're serving food, Mary and her family and relatives are going to offer continued prayers to us in a good way.
Good evening to all of you. We just want to say thank you to Karina, NDN Collective, and all the relatives here today for inviting Kalpuli Asanashli to share space and really honor all the ones that are traveling very far from their homes to bring Leonard back here with family. We're going to invite all of you to, if you'd like to participate, we're going to open up with the 4 directions to give gratitude to the 4 directions. And then after that, once you see us start dancing, we're just going to keep dancing. You guys already worked for it, all that traveling. We're going to make these guys get hungry and dance and work for the food. So we're going to start out with the 4 directions. If you'd like to join us, just follow suit. Otherwise, for the elders and whoever else that needs to already be fed, please already make your way to the food, and the volunteers can start serving you. So, Laso Kamati.
All right, everybody, just give me a second here. We're gonna see you. So we have 4 directions. We'll just be in it. We'll look at the 4 directions with you. Again, we are here in Cedar Park in Little Earth in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm your host. Not on the camera too much. I'll get there probably eventually. But right now, we're just going to be listening and observing. So let's do that. Thanks for being here again. There should be some calls to action in the chat. Say hello. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know where you're coming in from, and I'll definitely catch up with you in a second. Here, we're just diving in. We're live. Day 1, day of first stop. Leonard Peltier Caravan. Let's go. everybody. So we're gonna be listening to some singing, some dancing again. We're in Minneapolis, Cedar Park. Free Leonard Peltier. First stop on the Caravan heading to D.C. for an action on the 12th, on the 79th birthday of Leonard Peltier. And we'll be learning more, experiencing more, and also just being together. Thanks for being here.
Gotta stand in the spot. Here. Tonalte no chime, tonalte nanotoka Samuel, ni mexika iwan ni nawa. Good evening, relatives. My name is Samuel. I'm Mexica and Nawa, and we are Kalpulia Senoshli. We're a community of families that are dedicated to practicing and preserving our traditional ways, Mexica Nawa ways. And we are here to be good relatives to each other. We're standing here in support and solidarity to free Leonard Peltier. It's a long time. We know this struggle is a shared struggle. And we are here to call for the release of Leonard Peltier, of course. I also have the privilege and the honor to work with the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition. I just want to share a little bit about what we have been doing in order to fight for truth, justice, and healing as a result of the federal Indian boarding school policies that has impacted every single Indigenous person on these lands. And so as such, I just want to share with you all that last year around this time, our board of directors passed a resolution calling on Biden to call for the release immediately of Leonard Peltier. And it's important to recognize that Leonard Peltier is a boarding school survivor. He went to Wahpeton boarding school. And as such, we know there is a consequence and an impact on all of us, not the least of which is Leonard Peltier. And I just want to share a little bit about what our board of directors, many of which are boarding school survivors, contributed to this document. And want to let everybody know that these are not just words, these are actions that we are standing behind. And that we're going to continue to fight for the release of Leonard Peltier. And we're going to continue to fight for the liberation of all of our relatives. So whereas for 150 years, the United States pursued, embraced, and carried out the federal Indian boarding school policy of forced assimilation of American Indian, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian people, and whereas multiple generations of American Indian, Alaska Native, and Native Hawaiian children were forced by the federal government to experience the federal Indian boarding school system as a result of their political and legal status as Indians and Native Hawaiians, and whereas Leonard Peltier is a boarding school survivor, he's a citizen of the Turtle Mountain Chippewa tribe and was physically forced to attend Wahpeton boarding school in 1952 at the tender age of 9 years old. Whereas Leonard Peltier has spoken out about the physical and mental abuse he endured as a small child at the Wahpeton boarding school during his vulnerable formative years, and where he's been held as a political prisoner since 1977, serving 46 years and 3 months, sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms in connection with the shooting deaths of 2 agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and appellate courts have repeatedly acknowledged evidence of U.S. government misconduct regarding the arrest and conviction of Leonard Peltier, including knowingly presenting false statements to a Canadian court to extradite Mr. Peltier to the United States, forcing witnesses to lie at trial, and hiding ballistic evidence reflecting Mr. Peltier's innocence from the jury. And according to official court records, the United States prosecutor in the Peltier case has twice admitted that no one knows who fired the fatal shots that ended the lives of the 2 FBI agents Leonard Peltier was convicted of killing. And Leonard Peltier has maintained his innocence, yet expressed remorse for the loss of life for the federal agents and the young American Indian man killed on June 25th, 1975. Whereas Leonard Peltier is an accomplished author and artist, and is renowned for his humanitarian achievements, for which in 2009 he was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for the 6th consecutive year, and for which he has been awarded the Human Rights Commission of Spain International Human Rights Prize, the North Star Frederick Douglass Award, the Federation of Labor Humanist of the Year Award, the Silver Arrow Award for Lifetime Achievement, the first Red Nation Humanitarian Award, the Kwame Ture Lifetime Achievement Award, the Fighters for Justice Award, and the Mario Benedetti Foundation First International Human Rights Prize. And Leonard Peltier has fulfilled his federal sentencing guideline requirements and maintained a clean prison record for more than 15 years. And on August 21st, 2009, the U.S. Parole Commission denied his application for parole. Whereas Leonard Peltier is a great-grandfather who is 78 years old and at risk for premature death due to his harsh living environment, and the injustice of his continued federal incarceration in this harsh living environment and in violation of his rights compounds the trauma he endured as a child at the hands of the federal government. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Boarding School Healing Coalition calls on President Biden and everyone here to grant Leonard Peltier clemency because Mr. Peltier is a Native elder whose conviction was without sufficient evidence, whose continued incarceration violates U.S. and international standards, and who deserves to live out his final years with his family and his community and his nation. Therefore, be it further resolved, in considering whether to grant clemency to Leonard Peltier, President Biden should give special considerations to the fact that Leonard Peltier is a survivor of the Wahpeton boarding school and the federal policies that caused unspeakable abuses of Native children, including Mr. Peltier, and that we further support the transfer of Leonard Peltier to a facility within 500 miles of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indian Reservation as provided under the First Step Act until his release. So with that, relatives, we are here to stand for Leonard Peltier and his immediate release and clemency, and we will continue to fight. So Tlaso Kamati, we're going to continue to offer our medicine, our danza. Tlaso Kamati.
people are gathering around the drum now, singing the AIM song. You can feel like people is like flooding in. Back to the speakers. You want the camera? You want the microphone? This is not loud.
Good job, Nova. Good job, Milano.
There we go. Got that. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. We're going to be walking the other side, trying to get to these speakers. They're over there. Follow me? All right. Again, I'm Leonard Peltier. I'm the director of tactical media here at the NDN Collective. We're going to be walking around, listening to the speakers, trying to introduce you to where we're at. This is the first stop of
vandalize it, assault one another, and kill one another. And at the end of the day, they all went back home. What did I say? At the end of the day, they all went back home. Leonard, without any proof or any witnesses, is 40-some years incarcerated. What is the difference? The difference is the America 14th Amendment, where all men are created equal with certain inalienable rights. But the African is 15% human, and the Native American is considered other. So there's no protection under the law because they're not under the 14th Amendment. So the only way we can make a change and bring about freedom and justice is to get up, stand up, and never shut up. Repeat after me. Get up, stand up, and never shut up. That's what this battle is about in this country, this journey. Anyone can find a way to make this journey make it. I was invited at the first National Indigenous Day in Washington, D.C. And I can tell you, as we stood on that ground and Native Americans came from all over America to celebrate this vacation day that they gave us, that they took from Columbus. No politicians came to celebrate that day with Native Americans. After giving you the day, then they showed you nothing but disrespect by not even showing up to honor the day. So if something matters to you, you got to make it matter. If something's important to you, you take ownership of it and fight for it and never stop fighting. We marched all over the place. I never marched in the cold and the snow until I met Clyde. Clyde changed everything about me as I froze all the way down, so you can send me where you want now. Native Americans marched in the snow, in the cold. Matter of fact, Frank will tell you when we started the National Coalition Against Racism in Sports and Media, they even had us fighting in the snow up there in St. Cloud. So the bottom line is that this ain't over unless you decide it's over. Get in this fight. Get in this journey. He's getting something that he don't deserve from a country that has no position, that's always talking about to the world human rights violations and violating everything of color in this country while we talk about human rights violations. So we want to be considered as taxpayers, as human beings, as citizens who have not only lived here but fought for this country. It's time for us to get the rights that belong to us as human beings in this nation. So as I close out, as I started, get up, stand up, and never shut up.
When I say land, you say back. Land! Back! Land! Back! When I say Peltier, you say back. Peltier! Back! Peltier! Back! Well, say it louder. When I say Peltier, you say back. Peltier! Back! Peltier! Back! Tanse, Rachel Dion Thunder. I say hello and welcome and thank you to all of you. Thank you to those of you who have traveled here and this journey that you're taking part of. To this prayer that you're a part of for our elder. I was thinking today about what I wanted to say in front of these people that have taken on this responsibility, and to the people of this community, and to the indigenous people, and to the native people of this land, and for wherever you come from across Turtle Island, or what is now known as the colonial governments of South America. And I was thinking about this responsibility. I was thinking about this responsibility that has been put upon our people for the past 47 years, that Elder Leonard Peltier has been held unjustly by the United States government. I was thinking about our ancestors. I was thinking about those in the movement, those names that we all know, and those names that maybe some of us don't know at all. And those sacrifices and that time and that work that has gone into Peltier's freedom for nearly 5 decades. I thought about the longest walk in 1978 when they walked all the way across Turtle Island to ask for freedom for Peltier, and to ask for treaty rights. I thought about all the meetings that have happened across governments in the United States and Canada. I thought about all the prayers and the requests around the world for Leonard Peltier. And when Nick was speaking earlier, he said that he feels and that we know through our prayers and our ceremonies that the time is now, that Leonard Peltier will be free. I thought about the walk that started right here where we stand last year when we walked here in Minneapolis to Washington, D.C., 1,103 miles, and I see a lot of familiar faces that helped carry that prayer. I see and I feel the commitment from the people on this caravan, from the people that are doing the work behind the scenes, and from people across Indian country and around the world for this movement to free Leonard Peltier. I wanted to welcome you here to the heart of the movement, to the heart of the American Indian movement founded officially in 1968. I wanted to welcome you and your ancestors in this prayer that you carried here, and thank you for stopping here. Thank you for the sacrifice, because I know it's not easy. There are things that have kept Peltier locked up for 47 years that we can't see, but we can feel it. And we know it through our ceremonies and our medicine people. And we also know through stories and prophecies and from ceremonies that Leonard Peltier will be free. Thank you for making this journey. Thank you for carrying on this work that has been going on for 5 decades. Because of this, because of those prayers carried over those years, from the prayers from our ancestors, Leonard will be free. I know it in my heart. The walk that we had last year, that came through dreams, through prayers, through ceremonies, that Leonard Peltier will be free. Leonard Peltier has been held unjustly for 47 years. I'm 31 years old. Every breath that I have breathed, he has breathed a matching breath behind those prison walls. And even though they hold him physically, we know that his spirit is free. His spirit is right here with us tonight. It's with this drum, it's with these eagle staffs, and it's with every single individual here. As long as Leonard Peltier isn't free, there's a peace that this system holds of every single one of us as Indigenous people. If they can do it to him, they can do it to any of us. And they wanted to make an example out of him. They wanted to say, this is what happens if you stand up for your traditions. This is what happens if you stand up for your people. This is what happens if you stand up against this system. And we say, no, that didn't work. Because if it had worked, none of us would be standing here tonight. They can't kill our spirit. They can't kill our connection that we have with this mother. And that's more power than any power that they have through their dollar. That's a fake symbol of power. And they're scared of that. They're scared of every single one of you. They're scared of us coming together. They're scared of that condor and that eagle coming together. That prophecy that's happening right before our eyes. Separately, we're like this. But when we come together, we're like this. And they have no choice but to listen. Yep. When I say Peltier, you say back. Peltier! Back! Peltier! Back! Peltier! Back! When I say land, you say back. Land! Back! Land! Back! Thank you. I'm going to switch it up here a little bit for a second. So last year when we did the walk, we planned the walk for 2 years, and like I said, we went to a lot of ceremony and prayer, through that, and through those ceremonies and those prayers, there was an eagle staff that came to us for that walk, for Peltier. And I wish I could go on the caravan with you, but I have a blessing on the way, so I'm not going to be on the caravan. But we did want to send with you that prayer, that part of our prayer from that walk, that eagle staff, that spirit with you on your journey, and to bring that prayer with yours, that combined prayer right there to the heart of this system that continues to oppress our people for over 530 years. So we wanted to send that eagle staff with you, and we're going to do that now. I'm going to light some smudge and get some tobacco out, and we're going to take care of that and ask our drum group to sing an honor song. Sing an honor song for Peltier, for his sacrifice that he's made for this long, long time for all of us. To ask this honor song for these people that are making this journey to DC. This honor song to honor everybody that has done this work for decades for Peltier, and to honor these spirits and these staffs that are here with us tonight. Thank you.
Oh, you can't see nothing. It's dark. That's all good. Let's see where we go next. All right, again, just really quick. It's getting pretty dark here. We're at Cedar Field Park. Oh, I'm reading off of my phone. I'm Lorenzo Sedana, Director of Tactical Media here at the NDN Collective. My pronouns are they, them. I'm Chicanx. I'm in Minneapolis. Where I'm from, I don't know. I have to think about it. But it's Cedar Park, Little Earth. We're going to listen to an honor song. It's just to be a birthday action, birthday caravan heading to Washington, D.C. You got to get there the 12th. So if you're on the caravan, meet us in D.C. on the 12th. 79th birthday action, caravan officially. Free Leonard Peltier. We'll get over here to the song, listen some more. But again, we're just mostly listening, observing. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. There's a lot of calls to action, ways to get involved when you're not here on the ground. So you who are online, you can make phone calls. You can write letters. You can send emails. Those are all in the chats. And I'll go through and give you some more information in a second. We'll listen to the song. The sun is set.
So we're going to ask our last speaker to
one
come
more
up,
speaker here.
Nick Estes. And if you guys are going to D.C., you're going to hear him speak there too. But we wanted to have Nick come share some words. And then we're going to close things up with the Peltier song and a traveling song. Thank you.
There's everything that I was going to say was already said tonight. That really beautiful speech that Nick gave, that Spike gave, that all of our relatives gave. That's what I was going to say tonight. The only thing I would add is that the Leonard Peltier struggle today, the police, the FBI is trying to create Leonard Peltiers today. The Walani forest protectors have RICO charges slapped against them for trying to protect an indigenous forest in Georgia outside of Atlanta to stop Cop City. In this city, we saw land defenders arrested or detained by MPD during the middle of a snowstorm for trying to stop the demolition of a toxic site, because 1,600 people died of air pollution in the Twin Cities. They were protecting our air, just like the Walani land defenders are protecting the forest, the land, the water. And this federal government, these state governments, these municipalities are escalating their war against land defenders. We saw this at Standing Rock. We saw this at Line 3. We see this at Ferry Creek. The movements down here have actually inspired the Royal Canadian Mounted Police to create their own special operations group to target and go after land defenders. What saw it in land defenders? They said, after Standing Rock, we don't want a Standing Rock here. We're going to create a special operations group. We're going to go out. We're going to arrest elders. We're going to infiltrate. We're going to create chaos. We're going to infiltrate with informers. We're going to plant stories in the news. We're going to make these people who are unarmed, only armed with the knowledge of their ancestors and sovereignty, we're going to make them feel like they're the worst people on the planet. Because that's what every single day that they've kept Leonard Peltier in prison, that's what they've done to him. Doesn't matter if they're a Democrat, doesn't matter if they're Republican. They're all responsible. Back in 2016, after we left the Standing Rock camps, we went to Washington, D.C., hoping that President Obama would listen to us. Leonard Peltier's son passed away when we were there, fighting for his father's freedom. That did not move the humanity of that administration to consider his clemency or to consider his freedom. Because we are facing an inhumane system. And so when we go to Washington, D.C., God bless the people who are talking to the administration and working behind the scenes, but this is not a victory. This is not a movement that belongs to a party in this country. A party that has ignored, as much as the other party, 5 decades of a man being falsely imprisoned. That victory and that power lies with these young people here who weren't even born when Leonard Peltier was in prison. But it's what his ancestors dreamed. It was his prayer when he was sundancing. It was the prayer of the American Indian movement, the Red Power movement, all the names that we remember and all the names that we have forgotten that have brought us to this moment. That's our victory. That we're here on a Friday night, gathered as relatives for the freedom of our elder, but also for the freedom of our youth. Because that's what they tried to do with the boarding schools. That's what they tried to do with Leonard Peltier when he was put into boarding school. They tried to steal the youth, because you steal the youth, you steal the future. And then you take the elder, and then you criminalize him. You say all kinds of things bad about him. But what I see is a hero, because that's what we need right now in this time. We have heroes who are Wolani forest defenders. We have heroes here in this city who are land protectors, who watch this community, who are land defenders. Those are the heroes of this generation. It's not Joe Biden. It's not the Democratic Party. It's all of you. You are the heroes of this movement. And when he's walking free and he is embraced by his relatives at Turtle Mountain and his feet, his bare feet can touch grass as a free man, that's a victory for our people. So I just want you all to remember that when we're going to Washington, D.C. Man, I hate going to Washington, D.C. Hopefully this is the last time I go to Washington, D.C. Because they want us to sit at their table. But you know what I see here with NDN Collective, with the grassroots movement here in this community, is that we have our own damn table. We're building our own table. And it's time for them to come with their hands out and ask us for the right to exist. All
right, everybody, we're going to take it down for a second. We'll be right back to listen to the song. So I just wanted to, we'll be right back.
Local orgs and groups and grassroots movements for putting this on tonight, for the...
let's move. There's gonna be one more song. We're gonna go back, try to close it out. Try to give you a bunch of information too. I know people are asking in the chat where we're going next. The songs that keep going. I can hear people say one more song. They keep singing. But we're gonna head to the parking lot, get some light, and then just kind of close out. I want to make sure people who are online know that there are things that you can do if you're not able to make it. A lot of times we privilege sort of like the people on the ground, the people who are on the front lines, and all those things are true, but it's important to realize that the movement is wide and there's opportunity for you at home to support the people who are on the ground, and if we all work together, that's how we get to our goals. So I'm going to actually read off some things you can do right now.
AmnestyInternational.org, USA.org, Leonard Peltier, and a whole lot of actions will come up and assign. You can sign a petition asking for clemency for Leonard Peltier. It's online, so that's something else you can do.
Right on. So there's some petitions. It's Amnesty International, a partner. We're going to move a little bit more to the light. So if you have like a pen and pencil, also they're in the chat. I don't know if people have pen and pencils anymore. It's just a thing we say. So calls to action. You out there on the internet who want to support, you can call the White House. Oh yes. 202-456-1111. Free Leonard Peltier. Tell them why you feel that way. He's like the longest political prisoner. He's being held for charges that, the prosecutor is like, hey, we should never have put those charges on him. They make no sense. He's actually part of the Caravan. He's going to meet us in D.C. To talk about what happened, how he should not be in prison anymore. Call the White House. You can email the White House. Dang, more stuff to do with the White House. whitehouse.gov/contact. It's the website, whitehouse.gov/contact. You can write your representative. Look at this. All of them. Nick Estes right now is looking at me. But you can write to your representatives. All these things will help, honestly. And senators, ask them to urge President Joe Biden to release Leonard Peltier. You can find your rep here. I have a feeling it's in the chat, but I'm going to read it out loud anyways. I don't even know if you can see me. It's real dark. ndnco.cc/find your rep. I'm hoping that's dropping in the chat right now. ndnco.cc. Nancy, Delta Nancy. I don't know. Oregon. Car? I don't know. Somebody out there, I'm not impressed. Kind of person might know the actual phonetic alphabet. Didn't do good. Find your rep. You can find your rep. Write to your rep specifically. They will listen to you, or at least acknowledge you because they want your vote. They're like, why would someone talk to me? Oh my gosh, they have something important to tell me. I'm going to listen. You can like, subscribe, and comment, and share, and tag us, of course. At NDN Collective, we're going to be going live multiple days. You can go to our Instagram, our TikTok, our Facebook, our YouTube, our whatever it's called now, where you used to tweet but don't anymore. And we're live on all those places. There's a lot of content. If you share that content, super great. If you comment in that content, super great. All that helps us beat the algorithm that is trying so hard to take our money, and the only way we can get around it with your help. So please let us know why you care. Let us know where you're at. Just like, share, and comment. Just let us know. There's a Native Organizers Alliance petition, ndnco.cc, sign to free Leonard, ndnco.cc, sign to free Leonard. You can join the Leonard Peltier Campaign Network, ndnco.cc/LP Network. And also, the infamous Get Those Hands Working. You can write to Leonard Peltier for his 79th birthday. A colleague of mine was just talking about when they were locked up, how those letters are what kind of gave him a lifeblood of this going and going. And so we encourage letter writing, not only to Leonard Peltier, but to all prisoners. Get on it, get involved, let them know what's going on. Leonard Peltier, if you want to write Leonard Peltier 79th birthday letter, it is Leonard Peltier, #89637-132, USP Coleman 1, I think, or I. P.O. Box 1033, Coleman, Florida 33521. I swear to you, that's in the chat. There's no way that anyone wrote that down. No one has a pencil anymore. Pencils are over. But yeah, just check it out in the chat. They should be there. I'm going to verify they're there. So yeah, everything's getting dropped in the chat. I just got that verified. So there you go. I just said it out loud, but it's in the chat for you as well. And just encouraging people, we'll be coming back live. We'll be saying more. We'll be sharing more, letting folks know how they can get involved. And let me look at a few more things here, see if I'm missing anything. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll see if I'll get to them. We're going to pan to the darkness, and then I'll be right back. Sorry, it's so dark. As you can tell, it's nighttime here now in Minneapolis. The sun is gone. I'm going to read actually the where we're at right now because I feel like we just really started going. So you just watched the first stop on the Free Leonard Peltier Caravan, her 79th birthday action caravan. There was an opening prayer and blessing. We were not live for that. That was offered by Fred DeJarle before there was a meal, and then a program of speakers that most of us experienced. There's Korean Barry, who's the managing director, started as the MC. Rachel Thunder spoke. Spike Moss spoke. The Bear Runner singers were singing this song, and the Mashika dancers were dancing us together. So I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that. And this is an Indian Collection is in collaboration with Amnesty International USA. Indigenous organizers and allies will be taking action in Washington, D.C. on September 12th. So if you haven't caught that, that's what's going on. Leonard's 79th birthday to demand his freedom. Leonard Peltier, a citizen of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians in North Dakota, as an activist and a member of the American Indian Movement, AIM, and elder, is the longest serving Indigenous political prisoner in the United States history. And so, yeah, and again, this before we close out, we're going to thank all our partners here who made this possible. We came here to Little Earth, a big Indigenous community here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, always throwing down, always coming together. I've been in multiple feeds here, multiple celebrations. It's been great. So a big thank you to our Minneapolis partners, AIM, Indigenous Protector Movement, Little Earth Protectors, the Sobriety Warriors, Native American Community Development Institute, the Minneapolis American Indian Center, Gatherings Cafe, Division of Indian Work, and Indigenous Roots Cultural Center. I don't know if I missed anything. I can't see anyone to interview, or I would totally interview. You might want to interview. I can't tell who you are. It's dark. Hey, Andy, how was the bus? I tried. How was the bus?
It was very long.
It was very long?
Long, 9 hours, yeah.
All right. Are you excited to be here? I'm thinking they're excited. It was a long bus ride. It was. I was tracking it to make sure we met it here. Let me just look one more time. All right, I think we're going to call it. So you can just put it back on me. Let's take it down here in a second. I'll take it down. Again, my name is Lorenzo Sedna. I'm the director of tactical media here at the NDN Collective. I'll be. There's lights here. Go there. There you go. Yeah, so I'm the director of tactical media here at the Indian Collective. My name is Lorenzo Serna. Chicanx, my pronouns are they, them. I am just really excited to be joining the caravan now, trying to get Leonard Peltier out with all of my fellow relatives, allies, co-conspirators. Really appreciate all the speakers. I hope that you did too. That's why we want to make sure that you can come here, you can see it, you can experience it. We know that it's hard to get to places. We know that resources are just getting thinner and thinner as the situation continues. But we want to make sure that things are accessible and that you can kind of witness them if you can't make them there. And then, like I said, movements, many things. A good friend of mine always said that we always got to remember like the grandmothers who are making tortillas for the frontliners and how those tortillas are really what's driving us to keep doing the work. And it's the same thing for all folks out there, whatever you're doing at home, talking about what's happening with Leonard Peltier, talking about this caravan, sharing it with your friends, placing links places, really suggest that one. Liking, sharing, and again, commenting. There's all those calls to action. You can do all of those. You can do one a day. I'll remind you again tomorrow. We're going to be live again. We'll be like, hey, did you get to that call to action? Because all of it's going to matter. We're really hoping that we arrived at DC on a wave of all of us talking about how Leonard Peltier is going to get free. We started in ceremony. We started in prayer. We came to ceremony. We came to prayer. And we're going to continue on our way. And the action's on the 12th in Washington, D.C. Keep following the Indian Collective. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And I'm looking forward to freeing Leonard Peltier. So thanks.